And as the state celebrates its new broadband funding, Vernon Parish is celebrating the completion of its own broadband projects through Connect LA's GUMBO grants.
Almost 800,000 miles of fiber line was officially declared laid out and completed today. According to Swift Fiber, the announcement means nearly 9,000 homes and small businesses now have access to high-speed internet, with the majority of the new service areas being in Hornbeck, Anacoco, and Simpson, and equates to over $34 million in construction.
And local leaders are highlighting the importance of the project's completion, saying internet access is an issue the parish has been struggling with.
We all knew we had a deficiency in broadband here, but it really was illuminated during COVID, and then it was doubly illuminated after Hurricane Laura and Delta hit, and our communities were, I would say, languishing.
The importance for Vernon Parish was that we have many small schools located in remote parts of the parish. And so during COVID, we were having parents have to drive in the afternoons 3 or 4 days a week to find publicly available Wi-Fi to turn assignments in and download the assignments for the rest of the week. And so this was a way to overcome that.
According to Swift Fiber, Vernon is one of the state's first and largest projects to be officially declared completed.
Local leaders say they have high hopes for connecting all of Vernon Parish to internet and bringing more business to the region.
There is a reasonable shot that everyone in the parish will have access within the next 2 years with the allocation of the new funds and also I would say the growth in the competitive market, because now we have more competitors in here. It's not just one cable company. There's multiple people who are here.
Swift Fiber says with the finalizing of the broadband project, nearly 80% of all Vernon residents now have access to the internet.